transcend time. Limit you just go back to the past.
Man is mine, too many still lost, of course. All is mental, many still paying the cost. For not elevating, the study was limited. No need for Moorish armies, man stay militant. Just here to make you not think options. Get your mind right or soul sold on conscious auction. Heirs with the self-knowledge, use thought contortion. Empath, demon drinkers, GMO food concoction. Tempt you with distortions, soul sold extortion. Suicidal pure thoughts, intellect abortion. Introspection often, when at the cross section. Watch them going to and fro, righteousness deflection. Wisdom detection, avoid the subjection. Feeling chakra cipher, pass mid to the subsection. Feel goosebumps like a string section. Retrospection, invasion, mirror reflection, occupation.
Man, so crazy. They don't want their own mind. They don't want their own mind, yo. Crazy.
They brought it so can't scratch the sound. Who am I? I'm in the backyard of Master's house. I learned lineage came from a nap. Well now, moving from where you at, quit your pretending. That your daddy when your mommy is there. Your amendment can't ratify with logos. Cast them out. Where the back jeans go, yo. Nowadays they got them painted on with logos. Yo. Cover of your promo. Homogenized with apron on. Black colonized patriarchs with no matriarchs. Golden days of the Moors, Piscean days are gone. Moon sign, double eye, watch my mouth. Your eye deuce, can't see chips. Mind ruffle, don't see which, just stick, you get beat with. Out here.
Why not in this state? We don't play RPM all day. Ain't no small way, we take the large way, the Moorish way, Guardian. All the men, Moorish American, national.
Life is attention. What I give my attention to is fulfilling this overall purpose, this path that I pursue. Many minor interests grew to be study topics for me. Animals and blood, the molecular biology. Moving to the suburbs, a few melanated like me stimulated my interest more in learning my obsession. My ability, I identify similarities to such a degree. Most fields are the same with changed terminology, obviously. There are others that know the truth. If you will join in our pursuit, combining what we know and do. I knew at one point I would label and annoy myself with an occupation, paying taxes, proving that I help. This government, which is a corporation, no debating. I hear some do still different stages for some while awakening. Making it into the office in time. I find that this particular 9 to 5 grind ain't fully aligned. So I rewind, step back, calculate, reestablish self, strategize, apply, activate. To instate alternate ways to resource generate. More important, occupy land with fam and keep safe.
Truth is truth. We build, find multiple ways. Still, need to maintain. Does exist. Protect and guard.
Yeah, we're here once again. Canaanland Moors. IG. Just popping up. Just popping up. Just popping up. Put out some info. And you know, the minds of the people are gonna be uplifted. We gotta do our little piece, always.
So I was watching Angela Rye on The Breakfast Club talking about supporting Joe Biden just to beat Trump. But my problem is, what did Obama do for Black America? Right? And Joe Biden was a part of that administration.
So, what you might not have known is that there's this individual by the name of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And Prophet Noble Drew Ali made a statement in the 1920s that if they had a black president and a European vice president, things will get back in order. Right? If they had a black president, and if they had a European vice president, things will start getting back in order. What did Barack Obama do? We always tell people that, well, before we do that, let's do this first. Let's just set the stage of this. Let's just set the stage. The height of Orientalism, when US presidents donned fezzes and said Salam Alaikum. When US presidents, Barack Obama was one of those, right? And whoever's running is one of those. And whoever has ran in the past was one of those, maybe except JFK. But they donned fezzes. Now, like we were talking about in the other session, that because you see fezzes, don't think that it's Moors automatically. Because you see a fez, don't think, oh, Moors, and then run over and want to know about the Moors. So some of these people that wear fezzes are actually in the lodges. Now, one of the lodges that we recognize is one to keep our eyes on is the ancient Arabic order of the Nobles of the Mystic Shrine, or the Shriners. Why do we keep our eye on the Shriners? Because the Shriners have some symbology in their regalia that we know is Moorish. We know that it's Moorish. Now, from their formation in the early 1870s, Shriners wanted to dress like medieval Muslim men and pretend they were part of the secret society that could trace its origins to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and to a caliph called Ali. Right? Ali. They say A-L-E-E, not A-L-I. Ali. Trace its origins to Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and to a caliph called Ali. Now, what you also might not know is that Noble Drew Ali told Moors in the 1920s that Chicago is Mecca. So if Chicago is Mecca, and then Memphis is in Tennessee, and then all that's over here, there's some type of relation. And they want you to not know exactly what's going on. Because once you don't know what's going on, then you're going to get played. And the person playing you is not at fault because you're the dumbass, not them. So we're trying to make you not be a dumbass. Barack Obama saved all these Negroes. Why? Because, oh, and then interestingly, this is chapter 7. And then it's dealing with the Muslim, which is really Muslim. And then with their bright red fezzes, that mirror Islamic mosque, mimic an old Moroccan. All that is Moorish that they're talking about. They're not really talking about Islamic or Turkish in the context that you think. They're talking about Moorish. Anything relating to the Moors is Moorish. Old Moroccan. Why are they being specific to tell you old Moroccan? Because Morocco is not only a kingdom in Africa, Morocco is also an empire. And you, that they call Negro, you that you yourself call yourself nigger, you're actually Moors. You're old Moroccans. You're old Moroccans. You're not these modern day Moroccans, French Montana and all that stuff kind of. You're not those Moroccans. You're not those Moroccans. Oh, apologies, Moors, because you know we always give reference points. We never want to keep you in the dark. You to think we have some secular information higher than somebody else. This is common information. You go on Amazon and get this. It's not some adept chamber or whatever. The Moorish Masonic whatever is where we got this book. No, this is everybody knows this. Only people who don't know are dumb Negroes who want to play conscious games and Indian games and black whatever games and Islamic nation games. Everything's Moorish. That's what it's all about. And Barack Obama gave you the opportunity to tie yourself back to the old Moroccan. What do you mean? I didn't hear about that. When did he do that? When he sat, just go look it up. Barack Obama signed on to the UN DRIP. When Barack Obama signed on to the UN DRIP, Canada also signed on to the UN DRIP. So these two quote-unquote countries signed on to the United Nations Declarations of Rights of Indigenous People. In that document, it states that everyone has a right to a nationality. Now remember, Noble Drew Ali said, you're not Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian, you're Moors because you have a nationality. In the 1920s. And then in 2000s, when Noble Drew Ali told Moors in the year 2000, Moors are going to come into their own. Moors are going to come into their own in the year, not at the year 2000, in the year. So in could be anywhere from 2000 on. 2010, Barack Obama, Stephen Harper, Prime Minister and President for the quote-unquote countries, Canada and United States, signed on to the UN Declarations of Rights of Indigenous People. Why did both of them have to do it? Because Canada and US are one place. And the one can't do something without the other, because then it gives up the game that they don't have jurisdiction like that, because this is not Canada and United States. This is old Morocco. This is old Morocco with their bright red fezzes that mimic an old Moroccan, right? And then Shriners wanted to dress like medieval Muslim men and pretend. What are they pretending? What do you mean pretend? What are they pretending to be? They're pretending to be Moors. What do you mean they're pretending to be Moors? How are they pretending to be Moors? I thought Moors was, some fake whatever. You mean you're telling me that the US presidents or whatever wear fezzes because they're pretending to be Moors? And your black leaders aren't telling you about this? How come your black leaders and your conscious leaders and whoever aren't telling you that these same people who you're going to go vote for, US presidents, they say salam alaikum when they greet each other. And they wear fezzes, and they wear fezzes because it's an old Moroccan and Turkish style. And in this thing called the Shriners, that's Freemasonry, Illuminati, and all that stuff, they pretend to be old Moroccan Islamic Turks, which are Moors. And you're telling me that you don't want to be Moors. You'll be everything else, but you won't be Moors. But the US presidents are pretending to be Moors. But you don't want to be a Moor, but you're wondering who you should vote for and which president and all this. What are you talking about presidents and stuff like that if you're not talking about them being Masons in a lodge called Shriners, called Order of the Elks, called whatever. What do you want to call it? When you go into those places, they have fezzes on it. They greet each other, salam alaikum, alaikum salam, and all that. Why are they doing that for? How come they're giving so much honors to some old Moroccan, Moorish, whatever? Do you remember all these US presidents and all that stuff? We talk about some Europeans and all that. How come they could take it so far that they're going to secretly pretend to be Moors? And Moors are telling you that you're Moors, and you're looking at us crazy, but you're going to go vote for those guys who are pretending to be Moors. Think about that. You're going to go vote for some guys that are pretending to be Moors in secret. They're pretending to be Moors. And then you have real Moors that you can talk to. You don't got to go vote and all that stuff like that. You just got to be yourself. But nah, they don't want that. They want to play Negro, Black, or whatever games. Why they play the Negro games? Because they were created in the US and Canada nigger industry. And the nigger industry is for you to never know about your nationality and birthrights and keep you a slave. Keep you in a dead status forever, in perpetuity. You and your ancestors and your descendants are going to be wards of the crown, wards of the state, because you don't have a nationality, because you think black president or Barack Obama didn't do anything for us. He did everything that he can for you. Ungrateful bastards. Ungrateful. This man put his neck on the line. You guys are talking about he's going to get assassinated and all that stuff. Why do you think he didn't? Because he signed on to the stuff to keep him from being assassinated. Tell me that they weren't out to get him? That's the first black president. Like, what do you mean? Why wouldn't they be out to get him? Even if they put him there. No, there's no man amongst our people. There's no man amongst our people who would get into a position of prominence and do absolutely nothing for their people. No. It's not like that. Sellouts have a heart. They know what they should be doing. They know what they should be doing. You know, they do their little BS, their little school or something like that, and, you know, say that they're giving back. But they got Boule tattoo on their chest, though. And you're not realizing that the nigger industry is alive and well. And these Europeans don't have a threat from them. Why? Because you are now their chattel property. So anything that you do goes back to them. The Negro, black, colored, right? Ray Ray that you guys know, he's brown. You call him black and all that stuff all his life. Right? Ray knows he's not Ray. They knows he's Malik. He knows. Because he was brought up by nationality. He wasn't brought up by the peregrine. He was brought up by nationality. So he knows that he can't be their property. Why can't he be their property? Because he has a nationality. Same thing Barack came and told you people, that he's signing on to UN declarations so you can declare and proclaim your nationality, because Moors have been sent him and prior US presidents and prime ministers notice about the Moors' presence in the Americas, that they got to act right. Moors have done that, not the Negro guys, not the Huey P. Newton Gun Club and those people. None of them people. Moors writing writs, putting their name in red ink with fingerprints and seals from the Moorish nation, put these people on notice about these facts, that we're here. But our people want to play black, Negro, colored games and not have a nationality. And when we tell them about their nationality, so they can be looked at as a nation of people that are protected, they don't want this. They want to honor their God, the modern European who colonized them. This is what the sellouts. Remember, the US presidents, they have fezzes, so they're pretending to be Moors. And then because they're pretending to be Moors, they rule the world. And then Moors want to be fictions and have nothing. And think the little bit that they do have is something, while their people are suffering. Their people are suffering. They're pretending like they gave somebody something because they got to see them. All these people sold you out to the highest bidder. And you're the one that's going to save yourself now. But you can only save yourself with knowledge. And again, to go deeper, global noble. They're not practicing Islam. They're pretending to be Moors. That's why you put it like that. Because our people are absent-minded. We're not even going to go into Islam because we don't know I self-law master, and that's a science that some 20-minute IG is not going to do justice to going into Islam. So we go from the perspective of they're pretending to be Moors. So that they could really digest what Barack Obama did for them. Right? And again, it was said in the chat, in order to change the people, you must change your literature. The only people who you see changing the literature are Moors. Any book you pick up, they're telling you about some Negro and black and we're African and all that. That's not literature. That's not changing anything. That's keeping the dumbness alive. Right? Remember, open your ears. The nigger industry stands alone as the holy pride and the pinnacle of economic stock among all modern world's European conquests. This industry of niggerdom, based on lies and birthrights theft, Morris who said it already, is their main economic source for chattel food and is the colorable seized resource supplier for cannon fodder availed to the U.S. colonizing Crusader Inquisition. So there's an industry that was created. The industry that was created was for the Negro black colored people to be an economic source of the Crusaders. Right? Remember Indiana Jones' Last Crusade and all that stuff? What do you think they were doing? You think he was the hero? He was the colonizer, stealing all the stuff. And then you had the bad guys as the friggin' people whose stuff it is defending their stuff. Our people are the food because they don't want to have a nationality. And like we tell it, we know that we do 500 of these, we're going to get about 20 people. Because many people aren't really ready for this. This is why it's what it is. Because many people aren't ready for this. Half of them are too old, so they're not going to get this anyways. We probably got 1% of the people in the old generation that we're going to say, okay, yeah, this one's on it. Right? Drawley said there's only going to be a handful saved with fingers left over. So, we know 100 million views and 1,000 billion subscribers doesn't mean anything. Serves no purpose. That's all just part of their analytics games. Load management BS. They keep the people without a nationality so that they can continue to rule over them. And only a select few are going to get the message. We know this. Right? These are for the select few. Because you might not know that there's many Moors all over the damn place. There's so many people who call themselves Moors in this day and time that if there was no punishment for saying that you're a Moor, people would be fezzed up all over the place. But there's punishment for this. And then you're looking at the punishment as if somebody has authority to punish or whatever. No, that's not what's going on. These people are standing up for their nationality and their birthrights when they're supposed to be Negro creation. Frankenstein made a Frankenstein, and then everybody's looking at the Frankenstein that Frankenstein created, not Frankenstein. And Noble Drew Ali broke the curse, the real curse of Ham, that you're not black. That's the real curse of Ham. The curse of Ham is that you're not black. They made you black. They made you Negro. They made you something that you're not. And then you're going with the something that you're not as who you are. And that's a fiction. You just become cannon fodder. Now remember, you're looking around and talking about enemies over there, and oh yeah, Illuminati's over there, and those guys, and this group of the trilaterals, and this group of the whoever. That's not who's enslaving you. Your mind is enslaving you. It's not the external things that have you messed up. It's your mind that has you messed up. And you keep looking outside yourself for your remedy. And the remedy starts within. The mental and social conditioning for this source of human energy and essence has been and is the sorcery-derived creation of the blind faith-taught cultural acceptance of the Negro mind social civiliter, right, or civil Zombiism. What we're looking at with all these people with their pants off their ass and whatever else that they're doing, that's Zombiism. You think zombie is some whatever limping thing with the scabs and all that stuff? That's not a zombie. A zombie is somebody who's under mental and social conditioning. The stuff in the movie, that's not the zombie. That's a fiction. To get you to think that everything's all right. That you to think that the little pastor that came and touched you when you were 12 inappropriately, that was all right. No, it's okay. And then you carry that on through the rest of your life. And then you have so much negative energy on you that you can't even live. What's living? If living means dealing with this torment of this 90-year-old touching me inappropriately when I was 12, you're 50, still haven't even dealt with this stuff yet. Could never live. Never live. Right? Zombiism is real. Zombiism is real. Negro mental zombie. Blind faith. No, it's a sorcery that they have on our people. Our people aren't just dumb. It's a sorcery they have on them to have them a zombie. Because you could have a situation where, you have somebody's attention for 2 minutes and they snap out the zombieism. But they don't snap out. They go right back into it. Right after they're done with you, they go right back to the zombieism. And then take a position of trying to force their uncivilized position on civilized people. And then say that's racist when people don't accept their uncivilized BS. That they wouldn't have that if they, would have had a nationality. Like King Alfred Plan says, Negro, black, colored, poor, white people and all that stuff are classified as it. It. Not he or she, it. So if you're it, then rights don't apply to you. One of the Masonic U.S. presidents told Noble Drew Ali when he went to meet with them that giving Islam back to the nigger is going to be like putting a pair of pants on a horse. And laughed at Noble Drew Ali. That's how much they know they have you in Negro mental zombieism and blind faith. That's how they know. If they're going to tell the prophet that, what do you really think they think about you on their job or whatever? And it's only like that because, you don't have a nationality. Don't blame no European. Look at yourself. Honor Michael Jackson and look in the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror. And ask yourself, how are you pinnacle of the economic stock for some European foreigners and you're not doing anything about it? How are you a mental zombie creation under blind faith because you haven't fact-checked anything. You just took everything as what it was. Or they have you going crazy about some beer virus. And all you're seeing is people cracking jokes about Corona beer and beer virus, and then when you go check their stock, Corona stock is up or whatever. You're not losing. People aren't buying Coronas because of Corona. It's irrelevant. The beer have to do with damn virus. Matter of fact, that might be the cure for the shit. Poison with poison. You're either going to be the Negro creation or you're going to be your ancient foremothers and forefathers returned. That's your options. There's no getting around it either. Don't think you're going to be like Shaq, go be a Mason and think now you made it. No, you just buried yourself. Just buried yourself. Yep. And all the chats there. So it's good, IG. Anybody got any questions out there? Throw those in. Or we're out of here. Just remember, you're not Negro, black, colored. That's not who you are. Your foremothers and forefathers were Moors, and they're the founders of civilizations. Because a Moor is any dark-skinned person, especially an African Negro. Especially them. Especially the African Negro is a Moor. Everybody else is a Moor, but the African Negro, especially those ones, are Moors. Don't be a civil zombie. Live even know the difference between a ballot and a vote, and you're running out there to go pick somebody to talk about elected them to something? How are you going to elect somebody to something when you're not even elected? How you making a decision in a board of directors and you're not on the board of directors? What are you talking about? What are you voting in? What do you mean you're voting? But I don't want to hear what more there, they're going to talk about elect people, but then when we tell them about electoral college is who really elects people, they don't want to hear what we're saying. I'll tell you that Charter of Rights and Freedoms only applies to members of Parliament only. Nobody else. And it says that in the Charter. And then what are we gonna say? We're gonna be here, keep being our ancient foremothers and forefathers returned. Because we know what's up. Yeah, let's just give you this one too. We'll close out so you can see it in real life. Right? So you have the colonists up top right here, right? You have the colonist right here. And the colonist is moving his hands, right? Like he has the strings. He has the strings on all our people. Of every whatever they call themselves, that thinks whoever they are is really what's up. But really what's going on is the things on the parchment. And then it's parchment because these people are doing spells. You use the parchment paper for the spells. So the colonist is using the parchment paper, and then he has the spell on the parchment paper: colonialism, colorable laws, no constitution, no nationality, overthrow of de jure government, usurpation of birthrights and sovereignty, occupational European colonial government, Christian black codes, reconstructed history, political tags, chattel property, no flag. Right? And then all of this is happening on North America, which is really Northwest Africa, a Maxim, Al-Marak, North America is where this is happening, where these colonists have come here, did their little magic, have our people minus all dealing with and minus things here, right? No birthright, no sovereignty, no flag, no nationality. And then they're dealing with that on their own land. You see how the people are jumbled up, right? Or corralled. So they're corralled because they're chattel. Right? Look where these people are at. All this is land where the people should be. All here. People should be all here. People should be all here, all down here. There should be people all here. Right? What do? They have everybody crammed up here because they have them corralled like cattle because they're chattel property. They're not people because they don't have a nationality. No nationality means no rights. No constitution means nothing to uphold the rights. No flag means no nation. No nation means no nationality. And no nationality means you're corralled. And then we'll call this the ghetto. And then remember, they're only calling it the ghetto because they got that from the Jews in Germany with Hitler. And the ghetto was where the Jews went before they got exterminated. That's the reality of our people's situation. That's the reality of our people's situation. Whether they want to accept it or not, that's up to them. Right? It's completely up to them. No nationality means you're not counted by yourself. Like, forget them. Forget who the colonist is counting. Are you counting yourself? Hardhead makes a soft ass. So, like Bruce Lee said, be like water. Be like water. Be able to adapt to everything and anything at all times, immediately. You will need a 5-hour warm-up. You already know there's only going to be a handful saved. So whoever's game to be saved, they'll get on some studying, knowing the truth about their nationality and birthrights, and stop classifying themselves and their people as Negro, Black, Colored, African, Hebrew, Rastafari, and whatever else they call themselves, thinking that that's something. We're Moors. That's just what it is. If you don't want to be that, cool. Keep being property of these colonists who set up this whole thing that you're going through right now, that for some weird reason you just want to keep going through that. It's no different than they know that some Europeans built some slave forts, but they're going to keep the slave forts there and have the people keep going in there, perpetuating the same stuff that happened to their ancestors before they burned those places down. You still playing around? You got tourist attraction to come see yourself when you were a slave, but they'll never show you anything about when you ran stuff. People are playing you, and it's always your own. It's always your own playing you. It's always your own. Put it out there one more time if anybody got any questions. I went a little further than I expected it to go. Picture says 1,000 words for real. You got some questions out there, or you wanted to say something, we're here for another little bit. Can't tell me you have no questions. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. So again, this was the ones from today. These are the ones today. All America, Jonathan Curiel. And the nigger industry, Taj Tariq Bey. You can just go to rvbaypublications.com to get your detox, your Negro detox, because you've been played. How can Moors be better at reaching others? Seems like most Moors come across as condescending. Well, again, if the people aren't in the mindset to realize that, the Moors just have superior knowledge because we study. We know everybody else doesn't study. If they were studying, they would be saying that they're Moors. No. How can Moors be better at teaching others is by being themselves. And before you start teaching others, teach yourself something. Before you start going out there and buying packages from some guy who had, you know what I mean, he wore a cape and then he had the medallion with the whatever on it, and then his fez was glowing, and then you said that's the more you want to learn from or whatever, you better go check yourself. You're about to get played. You know, Moors have some super duper whatever that's gonna save you, and other Moors don't got it. That ain't what's going on. Once you study, trust me, that question you just answered would answer itself. So there's no coming across as condescending unless the individual receiving the message is not able to receive it. So they get in their feelings. Opposed to saying, oh, you know what? I never heard about that before. I'm going to go check that out and I'm going to get back to you. But our people got ego problems. Can't admit that they're wrong. They're always right, though. I'm not saying Moors are always right. We're saying Moors study. And real study. 5, 6, 8 books around me at one time studying. I just read a one book cover to cover and then that's it. Guaranteed if you read a book cover to cover, you miss about thousands of words that you didn't know the meaning of. You thought you thought you knew what that meant. So Moors can be better at teaching others when they start teaching themselves. Teach yourself, and then once you show yourself approved, then you go teach others. Like I've been shown approved. That's why I can push live on this and I can talk how I talk. Because I've studied and I backed up everything, and ain't nobody trying to tell me that what I experienced isn't what it is. Because that's my experience. You know what I mean? And I've experienced in other realms to know that, yeah, this is where it's at. Because all those other places where I'm at wasn't where it's at. It's some BS. But, you know, everybody needs to go from, you know, kindergarten to whatever. And some people don't skip grades. Some people drop out. Some people make it all the way to the finish line. I realize this is all BS. I didn't even need to go through all this. Still can't get a job or whatever. And I owe 80 grand to these people just because they wanted to be better. So it goes many different ways. But we know that once you start studying, you realize that, oh damn, everything Moors saying is real. And then you'll find out so much other stuff that, yeah, I guarantee you'll be told that you're condescending as well. Because you know something. And other people don't, and they're mad. They canceled the birthrights and made us buy into the government. Well, first of all, they're not the government, so you can't buy into that. Because they're not a government. So immediately, buy into the government is dismissed. Because you're calling a corporation a government, which is not a government. So you just disqualified buying into something, right? And then they can't cancel the birthrights because it's not their birthright. They're European colonists. They're foreigners here. How do they have jurisdiction to cancel a birthright that's not their birthright? Isn't that fraud? And if that's fraud, aren't they liable now? Oh, but they can't be held liable if we're nigger. If we're chattel property, they can't be held liable. So it has nothing to do with them, they're racist. Problem is that we don't have a status. How can you claim superiority and not hear supremacy? Again, just like the birthright, the claim to superiority has to be by the individual who is Aboriginal, Indigenous, Native, autochthonous to the land. Foreigners are not from the Americas. So no such thing as white supremacy for Europeans in the Americas, because they are not, I don't care how they got the superiority that they have. I don't care how they got it. However they got it, I guarantee it was fraud. So I'm not concerned about how they got it. They're only acting superior because we're acting inferior. If we act superior, then they can't act superior. There can't be two people acting superior at the same time. One has to be chattel property. One has to be chattel property. Right? That's why he said, my nationality is being substituted with a political slave brand. Black supremacy is a political slave brand. There's no such thing as black supremacy. That's a fiction. Why is that a fiction? Because white supremacy is a fiction. Because there's no such thing as white supremacy. Now, if you're talking about European supremacy, European superiority, then okay, that's totally different. You see, you start talking white and black and all that, you're playing kindergarten. And we're grown-ups out here. We don't do kindergarten. We don't do kindergarten. Alright, just got the countdown. So, we'll be back. Just hold tight.